Whether you're looking to get into underwater photography or just wanting to upgrade your pictures from a GoPro to a more professional quality on a budget, here's what you're going to need. What's going on, guys? Welcome to ThinBlueDIve. My name is John, and today we're going over my budget underwater camera system that I use for both wide angle and macro photography. Let's dive in.
All right, disclaimer. Just because you have the best camera in the world and the most expensive lenses and the best strobes does not mean you're a good photographer. Nothing can beat actually knowing your camera and knowing how to set up your shots. That way you can make sure you capture the perfect moment. Be sure to actually get out there and use your camera and get experience taking pictures is way more important than actually going and spending a lot of money on a camera system.
All right, starting with the heart of the setup, my camera. I'm using the Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV. It's a solid mirrorless micro four thirds camera that is lightweight, compact, and shoots great quality images. The EM10 Mark IV has a 20 megapixel sensor and is very beginner friendly. While you scroll through the camera menu and its settings, you get these pop-ups that explain each feature in the camera. And as a new photographer, I found this feature extremely helpful, allowing me to understand cameras and how they work easier and faster. This even transferred to understanding the Sony camera that I'm using to shoot this video. The EM10 Mark IV also allows you to shoot 4K video and has a decent built-in image stabilization. The mic on the camera does suck, but this doesn't really bother me since I'm underwater shooting videos, so I really don't need the mic to begin with. The manual and autofocus on this camera is quick, but I have found it to be lagging, especially when my subject is coming directly at me. It always seems to want to focus at the same speed that the subject is traveling, but other than that, I really haven't had an issue. The EM10 Mark IV is the first camera in the Olympus lineup that allows you to have interchangeable lenses. This allows you to shoot any scene you want without breaking the bank. Coming in at around $699, this was one of the main reasons why I went with the EM10 Mark IV and not the Olympus TG6 or TG7. As a lover of macro, I found that the GoPro's image quality just wasn't cutting it, even with an aftermarket macro lens. This is one of the main reasons why I decided to upgrade my camera setup. So for macro, I use the Olympus 60mm macro lens. It gives you razor sharp images, has fast autofocusing, and has the ability to shoot in 1:1 or even 2:1 with an added diopter. On the side of the lens, there is a focusing limit switch that allows you to have faster focus within a selected range. I tend to keep it on the 0.19 to infinity since you never know what you're going to find underwater, and this can't be changed while the camera is inside its housing. The Olympus 60mm lens has a 7.4-inch standoff distance. This allows you to be far enough away from your subject to keep it from getting spooked. The f-range on the Olympus 60mm lens is going to be an f2.8 to f22. This allows you to get those good low light shots. I found that the best shots that I've gotten on the camera has been on a night dive, so I really enjoyed this feature. This lens isn't just limited to macro shots though. It has a 20-degree field of view, so it does allow you to get those good portrait shots of the bigger creatures such as sharks, rays, and even other divers. Something I didn't think about when I decided to upgrade my camera system was your international weight and size restrictions on your luggage. With that being said, the small compact size of this lens and how lightweight it is, it's awesome. It's freaking awesome. I love it. The Olympus 60mm compact lens comes in around $550, and you can sometimes find it on sale new for about $400, and there's always the option to buy it used, which is a great way to save money. For wide-angle shots like large reef scenes, wrecks, and even large animals, I use the Olympus 8mm f1.8 Fisheye Pro lens. With a 180-degree field of view, you're able to get great panoramic-style shots. But this comes with a downside-ish. In order to get a good, crisp image of your subject, you're going to have to get close. Closer. No closer. That's better. The f-range on the Olympus 8mm fisheye is going to be between f1.8 and f22. This allows you to get those really crisp wide-angle shots without losing sharpness in those well-lit environments. This lens is on Olympus's Pro Series, so it is a little bit more expensive, coming in at around $1,100, but I think I found mine used at around $600 on eBay. I found this lens in Little Cayman when I had the opportunity to rent the lens from the Backscatter storefront at the Little Cayman Beach Resort for the day, and I completely fell in love with this lens. Thanks again, Backscatter. I'm broke because of you. Anyways, prior to the Olympus 8mm fisheye lens, I used just the stock 14mm to 42mm lens with the AOI 130-degree wet lens. And it did okay for the most part, but the image quality was nowhere near as sharp as the fisheye lens here, and it's about 100 times heavier and a lot bigger in size. So again, weight restrictions, size restrictions when you're traveling, and you're not getting as good image quality. If you have the money, it's best just to go ahead and upgrade to that fisheye lens. All right, for my housing, I'm using the Backscatter Octo housing. This housing is rated for a depth of 150 feet, which allows you to take it on any recreational dive. The button layout on the housing is nearly a mirror image of the layout on the camera, so the learning curve of using the camera inside the housing is minimal. The housing itself comes with a flat port that is compatible with the standard 14 by 42 millimeter lens, but there are several different ports that are easily exchanged with the PEN port system that's found on the front of the housing, allowing you to use any lens that's compatible with the camera. There are 2 fiber optic cable ports on the front of the housing for your strobes and an LED flash trigger, which allows you to shoot automatic TTL flash power when you use RC mode compatible strobes. RC flash mode is Olympus's automatic flash synchronization method, so it's very cool that Backscatter incorporated this into the housing. The LED indicator light and moisture detector inside the housing works very well together and gives me a peace of mind knowing that the housing is holding its pressure and that there are no leaks. It also doesn't hurt that this is the best looking housing on the market. The Backscatter Octo housing is coming in at just under $1,000. All right, for the skeleton or frame of my setup, I use the AOI dual handle tray. The housing just sits right on top of it and has 2 screws that screw into the bottom of the housing. On the top of the tray, I've attached a white carry lanyard that is attached just underneath the ball joints on each side, and the clamps hold the lanyard in place. This makes it easier to hand the camera system to somebody when getting on and off the dive boat. Attached to the top of the tray, I have 2 8-inch arms on each side. On the inside arms, I have 2 large floats, and on the outside arms, I use 2 small floats. This allows me to have a pretty close to neutral buoyancy while underwater. I haven't spent a lot of time trying to make that perfect, to get that perfect balance, but it works good for me. It does the job. All right, for strobes, I use 2 CNC YS-D3 Mark II strobes. I went ahead and spent some money to upgrade my strobes. That way, in case in the near future I upgrade to a DSLR or full-size camera, I'll have the strobes that are able to keep up with it to help cut costs at a later date. The CNC YS-D3 Mark II has 3 different flash modes: TTL or auto, manual with pre-flash, and manual without pre-flash. Each of these modes is assigned a color that lights up in the back of the strobe. That way there's no confusion about what mode you're in. TTL or auto is blue, manual with pre-flash is orange, and manual without pre-flash is green. The YS-D3s also have a focus light with a high and low mode. The adjustment knobs on the YS-D3 are large and easy to maneuver, even when you're wearing gloves, which makes it easier to use these strobes in any conditions. There's a red indicator light between the 2 knobs just underneath the focus light button. When the light is flashing red, the strobe is charging, and when the light is a solid red, that means it's fully charged and ready to fire, which takes around 1.5 seconds. The YS-D3's beam angle is 80 degrees, but this is increased to 100 degrees when you use the diffuser that's included with the strobe. There is also a dome diffuser that you can buy that increases your beam angle to 170 degrees. The YS-D3 runs off of 4 AA batteries, and I tend to change my batteries at the end of each diving day, just to make sure I don't run out of batteries in the middle of a dive. And there you go, that is my budget underwater camera system. With everything added up, the total tends to be just under $8,000, but again, if you buy things used, this price is able to come down, and that's why I've been calling it my budget underwater camera system. Let me know down in the comments below what kind of camera system you're using for underwater photography, whether it's a GoPro, the TG6 or TG7, or have you upgraded to a full-size DSLR camera. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Turn those notifications to on. That way you never miss out on any future uploads, and I will see you in the water.